What's up, everyone? It's Mac Attack. It's a hard concept to grasp, with all of us having been raised, right, in the physical be-all, right, and end-all world. And how is it possible that granite, right, isn't hard, gold doesn't glitter, a red apple has no color without us? Because redness needs a human to make it red. Right? All light is colorless in nature. Frequencies and vibrations are matter of mathematics, not experience. So any quality you can name needs a source in consciousness. Right? The hardness of granite isn't dependent on human awareness. The way the color, sound, touch, taste, and smell are. All of those qualities are transformed through pure consciousness. As your role, imagine yourself as a prism for a moment, right? As white light passes through you, your physical makeup is transformed into rays of colors. Diversity emerges from oneness, which gives birth to duality. Creation is not the opposite of destruction. Creation is absolute. At the source, right? It has no opposite and therefore no opposition. If you go by appearances, however, destruction may look like it does have the upper hand. But on Earth, all living things are temporary and eventually give in to physical decay. Right? In basic physics, is taught that entropy is the law that cannot be overcome. But, however, entropy must bow to consciousness. Entropy being defined as the tendency, right, to give way to disorder as heat dissipates from when we decay, right, after death. We turn room temperature, where stars burn out, ice melts in the sun. Maya, which is I'll explain, rules, right? Appearances, but makes. A Maya is something to be true, right? And I'll discuss that more, but it does make a mistake. It would be a mistake to assume, right, that appearance is always shallow. This might apply to someone who appears to be friendly, but is masking their darker feelings. However, in spiritual terms, the whole world is perceived as an appearance. Therefore, Maya is as complex as nature itself. Every page, every volume in a medical library testifies to the complexity of the waking dream. The only way to expose the dream is by realizing that consciousness can transform itself into physical objects. Physicality is the last stop on the journey from source. Make sense? It sounds absurd to say a leg, right, or a leg bone is conscious, right? Why not a rock or carbon monoxide emitted by a diesel truck? The last stop on the journey from source isn't self-consciousness. Bones, rocks, and carbon monoxide aren't possessed of mind, right? But they don't escape the net cast by consciousness, which is all inclusive. Your bones, your blood, your liver, and all the other tissues, right, participate in the consciousness that creates and maintains the human body. The physical tissue of the brain is just as mindless as the bone tissue, but the expression of consciousness is different between the two. Make sense? Awareness expresses as thought in the brain. It expresses the enormously complex life of a bone cell only silently. So the fact that consciousness is all-embracing makes it absolute. Chaos, disorder, and decay are not all-embracing. They are stages in the whole process of creation. There's a stubborn belief that creation isn't physical in the first place, right? But as viewed from the source, consciousness turns itself into the created universe along with every physical object, like the human body and brain. Excuse me. Demoting matter, right, elevates awareness. Say that again. Demoting matter elevates awareness. Okay? Because now if you demote matter, think about it. The further you are from material, the closer you are to source. The closer you are to material, the further you are from the field. So that has been a part of the historical pattern in the age of faith, right? God transcends the physical world, placing the divine awareness above everything. The scientific age, right? Nothing transcends matter, making it difficult to even admit that mind exists. Mind being the brain in action, or as neuroscience says, considers the mind a byproduct of brain activity. So creation, to put it succulently as possible, is the mover behind everything. In the state of separation, all we can't observe is appearance. In the state of separation, all that we can't observe is appearance. Take care, guys. McIntyre. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.